Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the constant noise of daily life? Do you find yourself yearning for a moment of peace and quiet in this busy world? If so, you're not alone. Many of us struggle to find time for ourselves in the midst of our hectic schedules. But what if we told you that taking time for solitude could be the key to unlocking your spiritual growth and personal development? In this video, we'll explore the crucial role that solitude plays in our spiritual journeys and how it can help us become more centered, focused, and at peace with ourselves. Let's start by understanding what solitude really means. Solitude is the state of being alone without feeling lonely. It's a conscious choice to spend time by yourself, away from the distractions and demands of others. This is different from loneliness, which is an unwanted and often painful emotional state. Solitude, on the other hand, can be a source of comfort, creativity, and deep personal insight. Why does solitude matter so much in our spiritual lives? Well, when we're constantly surrounded by noise, people, and technology, it can be hard to hear our own thoughts and feelings. Solitude gives us the mental space we need to reflect on our lives, our values, and our goals. It allows us to tune into our inner voice and gain clarity on what truly matters to us. In today's world, finding time for solitude can be challenging. We're constantly connected through our phones, social media, and other devices. Many of us feel pressure to always be available and responsive. There's a fear of missing out that keeps us tethered to our screens and social circles. But this constant connectivity can come at a cost to our mental and spiritual well-being. To create more space for solitude in our lives, we need to be intentional about it. This might mean setting aside specific times each day or week for quiet reflection. It could involve creating a physical space in your home that's dedicated to alone time. Some people find it helpful to turn off their phones or set them to do not disturb mode during their solitude practice. When we talk about solitude, it's important to note that it's not just about being physically alone. It's about being present with yourself and your thoughts. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. When we combine solitude with mindfulness, we create a powerful opportunity for self-discovery and growth. One simple mindfulness exercise you can try during your solitude practice is to focus on your breath. Find a comfortable position and simply observe your breath as it moves in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple practice can help calm your mind and bring you into the present moment. Solitude isn't just good for our spiritual lives, it can also boost our creativity. Many great thinkers and artists throughout history have valued solitude as a source of inspiration. When we're alone with our thoughts, we're free to let our minds wander and make unexpected connections. This can lead to new ideas and insights that might not have emerged in a more structured or social setting. As we spend more time in solitude, we often find that we're able to tap into a deeper source of wisdom within ourselves. This inner wisdom can guide us in making decisions that align with our true values and aspirations. It can help us navigate challenging situations with more grace and clarity. By regularly spending time alone, we strengthen our connection to this inner guidance system. Of course, solitude isn't meant to replace all of our social interactions. Humans are social creatures, and we need connections with others to thrive. The key is finding a balance between solitude and social connection that works for you. This balance might look different for everyone, depending on their personality and life circumstances. For some people, the idea of spending time alone can be uncomfortable or even scary. If you're not used to solitude, it's normal to feel some resistance at first. You might worry about being bored or lonely. But with practice, many people find that they come to cherish their alone time. If you're new to solitude, start small. Try spending just 5 or 10 minutes a day in quiet reflection. Gradually increase this time as you become more comfortable. It's important to remember that cultivating a practice of solitude is a lifelong journey. It's not something you do once and then you're done. Rather, it's a habit that you can nurture and develop over time. As you make solitude a regular part of your life, you may notice that you feel more centered, more in touch with your true self, and better able to handle life's challenges. In our fast-paced world, taking time for solitude can feel like a luxury, but it's actually an essential component of our spiritual and personal growth. By creating space for quiet reflection in our lives, we open ourselves up to deeper self-understanding and a stronger connection to our inner wisdom. Solitude allows us to step back from the constant demands of daily life and gain perspective. It gives us a chance to check in with ourselves and make sure we're living in alignment with our values and goals. Without this regular check-in, it's easy to get caught up in the busyness of life and lose sight of what really matters to us. When we spend time alone, we also have the opportunity to process our emotions more fully. In social situations, we often put on a brave face or push our feelings aside to accommodate others. But in solitude, we can let our guard down and really feel what we're feeling. This emotional processing is crucial for our mental health and spiritual growth. Solitude can also help us develop a stronger sense of self-reliance. When we're comfortable being alone, we're less likely to depend on others for our happiness or sense of self-worth. This doesn't mean we don't need or value our relationships. It just means that we're able to stand on our own 2 feet and find contentment within ourselves. One of the beautiful things about solitude is that it can be practiced anywhere. You don't need special equipment or a particular setting. You can practice solitude while taking a walk in nature, sitting in your car before work, or even in a quiet corner of a busy cafe. The key is to be intentional about creating that mental space for yourself, wherever you are. As you develop your solitude practice, you might find it helpful to keep a journal. Writing down your thoughts and feelings during your alone time can help you process your experiences and gain deeper insights. You might be surprised by what emerges when you give yourself the space to write freely, without judgment or expectation. It's worth noting that solitude doesn't always have to be completely silent or still. Some people find that gentle background noise, like the sound of rain or soft instrumental music, helps them relax and focus during their alone time. Experiment with different environments and find what works best for you. One of the challenges of practicing solitude in today's world is the constant pull of technology. Our phones, computers, and other devices are designed to grab and hold our attention. To create true solitude, it's often necessary to intentionally disconnect from these devices. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but many people find that they feel more relaxed and focused after taking a break from technology. As you spend more time in solitude, you may notice changes in how you relate to others. Many people find that they become better listeners and more empathetic friends after developing a regular solitude practice. This is because solitude helps us become more comfortable with ourselves, which in turn allows us to be more present and authentic in our relationships. Solitude can also be a powerful tool for stress reduction. When we're constantly engaged with others or with technology, our nervous systems are in a state of high alert. Solitude gives our brains and bodies a chance to relax and recharge. This can lead to lower stress levels, better sleep, and improved overall health. One of the gifts of solitude is that it allows us to hear our own voice more clearly. In the quiet of alone time, we can start to distinguish between our authentic desires and the expectations that others place on us. This can be incredibly freeing as we learn to make choices that are truly aligned with our own values and aspirations. Solitude can also be a space for creativity to flourish. When we're alone, we're free from the judgment or influence of others, which can allow us to explore new ideas more freely. Whether you're an artist, a writer, a problem solver, or simply someone who enjoys creative thinking, regular periods of solitude can help nurture your creative spirit. It's important to remember that solitude is not the same as isolation. Healthy solitude is a choice we make to spend time alone, knowing that we have meaningful connections to return to. If you find that your alone time is leaving you feeling persistently lonely or disconnected, it may be worth examining the balance between your solitude practice and your social connections. As you develop your solitude practice, you might find that it becomes a form of self-care. In a world that often values productivity above all else, taking time for quiet reflection can be a radical act of self-love. It's a way of saying that your inner life matters and that you're worth spending time with. One of the beautiful aspects of solitude is that it can help us develop a greater sense of awe and wonder about the world. When we're constantly busy and distracted, it's easy to overlook the small miracles that surround us every day. Solitude gives us the space to notice and appreciate these moments of beauty and wonder. Solitude can also be a powerful tool for personal growth. When we spend time alone, we have the opportunity to reflect on our behaviors, thoughts, and patterns. We can identify areas where we want to grow or change and make plans to do so. This kind of self-reflection is crucial for ongoing personal development. It's worth noting that the benefits of solitude often extend beyond the time we spend alone. Many people find that regular periods of solitude help them feel more centered and grounded throughout their day, even when they're engaging with others. It's like creating a well of calm that we can draw from when life gets hectic. As you explore the role of solitude in your life, remember that there's no one-size-fits-all approach. Some people might thrive with an hour of alone time each day, while others might prefer shorter, more frequent periods of solitude. The key is to experiment and find what works best for you. One of the challenges of developing a solitude practice is dealing with the discomfort that can arise when we're alone with our thoughts. We might encounter difficult emotions or uncomfortable truths about ourselves. While this can be challenging, it's also an opportunity for growth. By learning to sit with these uncomfortable feelings, we can develop greater emotional resilience and self-understanding. Solitude can also be a space for spiritual exploration. Whether you follow a particular religious tradition or consider yourself more spiritual than religious, alone time can provide an opportunity to connect with something larger than yourself. This might involve prayer, meditation, or simply a sense of connection to nature or the universe. As you develop your solitude practice, you might find it helpful to set an intention for your alone time. This doesn't have to be anything elaborate. It could be as simple as, I intend to listen to my inner voice, or I intend to cultivate peace within myself. Setting an intention can help focus your mind and make your solitude practice more purposeful. It's important to approach your solitude practice with patience and self-compassion. Like any skill, becoming comfortable with solitude takes time and practice. If you find your mind wandering or feel restless during your alone time, that's okay. Gently redirect your attention and remember that every moment of practice is valuable, even if it doesn't feel perfect. As you spend more time in solitude, you may notice that your relationship with silence changes. Many of us are uncomfortable with silence and rush to fill it with noise or activity. But as we practice solitude, we often come to appreciate the richness and depth that silence can offer. Solitude can also be a powerful tool for decision-making. When we're constantly surrounded by the opinions and influences of others, it can be hard to hear our own inner wisdom. Taking time for solitude allows us to tune into our own thoughts and feelings, which can lead to decisions that are more aligned with our true selves. One of the gifts of solitude is that it can help us develop a stronger sense of self-trust. As we spend time alone and learn to listen to our inner voice, we become more confident in our own judgments and intuitions. This self-trust can be incredibly empowering, helping us navigate life's challenges with greater ease and confidence. It's worth noting that solitude doesn't have to mean complete inactivity. Some people find that gentle, solitary activities like gardening, knitting, or walking in nature enhance their experience of solitude. The key is that these activities allow for a quieting of the mind and a focus on the present moment. As you explore the role of solitude in your life, you might find it helpful to create rituals or routines around your alone time. This could be as simple as lighting a candle, brewing a cup of tea, or taking a few deep breaths before you begin your solitude practice. These rituals can help signal to your mind and body that it's time to shift into a more reflective state. One of the challenges of practicing solitude in today's world is dealing with the fear of missing out, FOMO. We might worry that by taking time for ourselves, we're missing important social connections or opportunities. But it's important to remember that by nurturing ourselves through solitude, we're actually enhancing our ability to show up fully in our relationships and activities. Solitude can also be a powerful tool for cultivating gratitude. When we step back from the hustle and bustle of daily life, we often gain a fresh perspective on all the good things in our lives. Taking time to reflect on what we're grateful for can significantly boost our overall sense of well-being and contentment. As you develop your solitude practice, you might find that it becomes a form of self-discovery. In the quiet of alone time, you may uncover aspects of yourself that you hadn't noticed before. This could include hidden talents, forgotten dreams, or new perspectives on old problems. It's important to remember that solitude is not about escaping from life, but about engaging with it more fully. By taking time for quiet reflection, we're better able to process our experiences and show up more authentically in our daily lives. Solitude can also be a powerful antidote to the constant comparison that social media and our competitive culture can encourage. When we're alone, we have the opportunity to connect with our own values and aspirations rather than measuring ourselves against others. As you explore the role of solitude in your life, remember that it's okay to start small. Even a few minutes of intentional alone time each day can make a significant difference in your sense of well-being and connection to yourself. One of the beautiful things about solitude is that it can help us develop a greater sense of inner peace. As we become more comfortable with being alone, we often find that we're less reactive to external stresses and more able to maintain a sense of calm even in challenging situations. Solitude can also be a space for cultivating self-compassion. When we're alone, we have the opportunity to practice treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a good friend. This self-compassion can be a powerful tool for healing and personal growth. As you develop your solitude practice, you might find it helpful to explore different techniques for quieting your mind. This could include breathwork, visualization, or simple mindfulness exercises. Experiment with different approaches and see what resonates with you. Remember that the goal of solitude is not to achieve some perfect state of enlightenment or constant inner peace. Rather, it's about creating space in your life for reflection, growth, and connection with yourself. It's a practice, and like any practice, it will have its ups and downs. As you continue to explore the role of solitude in your spiritual journey, be open to the ways it might surprise you. You may find that it leads you to new insights, new passions, or new ways of being in the world. Trust the process and remain curious about what each moment of solitude might bring. Solitude is a powerful tool for spiritual growth and personal development. By creating space in our lives for quiet reflection, we open ourselves up to deeper self-understanding, enhanced creativity, and a stronger connection to our inner wisdom. While it may feel challenging at first, especially in our busy, connected world, the benefits of solitude are well worth the effort. Remember, this is your journey. There's no right or wrong way to practice solitude. The key is to find an approach that works for you and to be patient and kind with yourself as you explore this practice. As you continue to make space for solitude in your life, you may find that it becomes not just a practice, but a way of being, a source of strength, peace, and insight that you can draw upon in all aspects of your life. So we encourage you to take that first step. Create a little space in your day for solitude. Tune into your inner voice. See what emerges when you give yourself the gift of quiet reflection. Your spiritual journey is unique and precious, and solitude can be a powerful ally on this path of self-discovery and growth.